Gloria, hallelujah.
What the?
Big Glo caught up with the Popo.
Make it make sense.
We first told you last month a group tried breaking into GloRilla's $2.6 million Georgia mansion while she was out of town. So why is it Glo who ended up in jail?
You have to start with what the law is.
The marijuana police found in her home was enough to do it, but the shade room is digging. The 911 call.
She hears them possibly in the garage. There's a black Jeep wagon in the garage.
What you need to know before you call police to report a crime, and the steps that lawmakers are taking to make sure what happened to Glo doesn't happen to you.
Just a prime example of why we need laws.
I'm Justin Carter on ground in Forsyth County, Georgia. This is TSR Investigates.
Caller's advising she's in the closet. There is no window to the closet. She does advise that she hears them possibly in the garage. There's a black Jeep wagon in the garage.
That was part of the 911 call that led sheriff's deputies here to the subdivision of Gloria Woods, who we all know as rapper GloRilla. Dispatcher said that they heard a woman say she was locking herself in her closet because she heard intruders trying to get into the home. Then shots were fired. The intruders were able to get away unharmed. But here's the kicker. GloRilla ended up getting arrested herself after investigators, they got a search warrant, and then eventually they discovered upwards of 3 pounds of marijuana in her bedroom closet. It led fans to, of course, be outraged about this, and it led us to wonder how this could happen and how this could challenge best practices when it comes to policing. But before we get to that story, we do want you to head over to our YouTube channel. There you can subscribe and watch full and exclusive episodes of TSR Investigates wherever you are and whenever you want. July 20th, 1:30 in the morning.
Now, it says point of activation is kitchen basement, glass break, kitchen basement motion.
As 3 men were reportedly breaking into GloRilla's home,
she's advising that the garage door just opened.
The reference let us know where the gunshots.
Police said despite an extensive search, the suspects got away and were never located. But, quote, due to the nature of the incident involving a burglary and shots fired, deputies detected a strong odor consistent with illegal narcotics. The Drug Task Force was contacted, who secured search warrants and found a significant amount of marijuana in plain view inside the master bedroom closet, end quote. And the arrest warrant, claiming that they found approximately 1,296 grams of marijuana inside, which is about 2.8 pounds worth. They also found 2 jars of THC wax. The shade room first told you when it happened, GloRilla immediately turned herself in. She was charged with felony possession of marijuana and possession of Schedule I controlled substance. There was a social media uproar about this, though. One user on Instagram writing, "How y'all arrest me when I'm the one that got robbed?" And another, "I see why people don't call the police anymore." GloRilla writing this on X after bailing out, quote, "My house got home invaded Saturday while I was in Indianapolis performing for the WNBA All-Star Game. And instead of focusing on finding the suspects, they focus on some cannabis. 1, so no, I wasn't busted. 2, my house got robbed. 3, I wasn't home. Long story short, my house gets home invaded and I'm the only one that gets arrested." So that's T.
There are so many things that you could be doing wrong, and in this situation, you did everything right.
We sat down with Atlanta-based attorney Jeremy J.R. Robinson about this.
What makes this legal as far as these charges against her, if any?
Under the state of Georgia guidelines, it's a felony. It becomes a felony when you have marijuana over an ounce. And of course, there are some quick ways to weigh it. They may have a scale with them to determine if it's greater than an ounce, but sometimes they visually look at things and say, all right, yeah, this is more than an ounce, and we're going to charge you for a felony. However, answering your question, so if you call the police to come to your home to do a search because you believe it's being burglarized, if you give them access to your home, they're supposed to be there to help you get rid of the criminal act, not criminalizing you. And in this situation, it's clear. So they did have lawful entry. They were invited in. And so, there's a couple different doctrines that stand out, but it's not as if their marijuana was laying out on the table and they saw it. right? So that would be open view or plain view doctrine, which means they have an opportunity to seize the drugs and then search the rest of the home. In this situation, because they came into the house and they quote unquote smelled marijuana, I think they took things too far. And I think they also probably already profiled this home.
In Georgia, Attorney Robinson says if there is probable cause, no matter the circumstance, police can and will secure a search warrant, especially in a place like Forsyth County, a county we've seen before. It's where Oprah taped a show about racism back in 1987, where white people, they were successful in keeping black people out for 75 years.
My name's Frank Shirley. I'm the head of the committee to keep Forsyth and Dawson County white.
Lake Lanier also sits in Forsyth County.
Those smaller communities are very tight-knit, where the police officers know the judge, they know the DA, they know everybody in that community.
What do you think's going to happen?
If I'm her attorney in that situation, I'm going to say, look, GloRilla is an artist who is always on the road. She's touring. It's how she makes her livelihood. This home, while she owns it, she's not aware of everything that goes in and out of it. Now, could she take better accountability and better inventory? Sure. But does that make her guilty of possession? Did she absolutely know it was hers? And did she? So that's the knowledge aspect. And then the criminal intent of it is she using those items? Justin, this is an extreme injustice. We are doing what we're taught to do. Something happens at home. If somebody's trying to break into our home, what do? We call the police. This just further creates an injustice where people are going to be less likely to want to call the police.
And that is where the problem lies, says Georgia State Representative Eric Bell.
It's just a prime example of why we need laws.
Bell working hard to get his bill, House Bill 464, passed this legislative session.
To protect those individuals like GloRilla and so many others that witness this.
The bill, it aims to provide immunity for prospective offenders who seek assistance from law enforcement while being victims of certain offenses, something that may have protected GloRilla from these serious felony drug charges. Charges, if convicted, could put her in prison for up to 10 years.
Come on, we got to do better. We got to do better as a society. We got to do better as a community. And my hope is that even the police in Forsyth would take a look at this and just say, this doesn't make any sense to me.
Now, we did reach out to GloRilla's attorneys, Drew Finling and Marissa Goldberg. They did not immediately return our request for a comment, but they have said publicly, quote, "The arrest of Gloria Woods is a disturbing window into how warped law enforcement priorities have become. Miss Woods was out of town when her residence became a target for a group of home invaders who most likely knew she wasn't there. What they didn't know was that she had family staying with her that were traumatized by the violent entrance of this group who grabbed high-value jewelry before taking off once they realized the home wasn't vacant," end quote. We did also reach out to the Forsyth County Sheriff's Department about this. They said that there's nothing else to release right now because this is still an active and pending investigation because of that alleged burglary. So of course, we'll be following up on this. We're here in Forsyth County, Georgia. I'm Justin Carter for TSR Investigates. Hello, roommates, and thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Do you want more TSR Investigates? Be sure to subscribe and check us out at theshaderoom.com.